Where's the fucking... There it is. There we go. I don't know why it took me so long to find the
delay there.
But regardless, hello everyone. We are back for the next episode of A Conversation with Kely, episode 100, whatever at this point. We are back to discuss the next episode of Ascendance Live. Very excited for it. Very much been enjoying this season. And as always, I'm here with my lovely and beautiful co-host Aly. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I just saw the new Minions movie with my sister and her friends.
Was everyone dressed up in suits?
No, but it was entertaining.
Oh, wow, that's good. I wish.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I went to the mall for a little bit, and it was fun. Now I'm just home chilling.
That's great. I had a terrible theater experience for that film, but we'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, the first thing to get out of the way. Normally, we are joined here by our amazing co-host that is with us for this show we're covering, Sean Dairo. But unfortunately, they're going through some stuff, and we wish them the absolute best.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean. We love them so much, and they'll be back soon. They're just gonna take some time and heal and focus on themselves.
Yeah, they had a very personal matter come up, and we definitely wish them the best for sure.
Sending them lots of hugs.
Yes, they will be back whenever. But they did tell us to go on for now and not fall behind, which is good because we don't like falling behind. We don't like falling behind very much at all. Because then we have like fucking 3 episodes to talk about, but we only have 1 right now. So let's keep it that way.
Also, normally we would interview the person eliminated, but he's just a little bit busy right now with traveling and such. So we'll probably get him later.
So to keep it simple, this is probably going to be one of our shorter episodes because, I mean, in terms of the episode, like there isn't a ton to talk about either. I feel like this was a pretty basic episode, like kind of what you expect from like a pre-jury type episode. Not a ton going on in terms of like, crazy gameplay or anything like that. But I still thought this was a pretty good episode overall. It covered everything really well with what's going on. What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was a strong one, and it was just really entertaining. It was very straightforward, with like you said. But I enjoyed it. The season's been really strong so far.
Definitely, really good cast, and they're very much delivering. Ryan was right in saying the game is not slowed down.
I would say they're very game body, which is like iconic.
Oh yeah, especially compared to last season. I feel like last season was really like kumbaya, especially around this time. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So Jake talks about how with Ryan gone, the florist already is crashing and burning. So that alliance is pretty much no more. I'm worried for Jake. I got to say, I'm very worried for Jake. Every time we see him in this episode, it seems like either he's in a predicament where he's working with too many people and he has to like burn some bridges, or he's losing allies like by the minute. So I'm just really kind of getting nervous for Jake here. I know that he said last week that like he's gonna have to adapt his gameplay to like trying to talk to everyone, and I just don't know if he's gonna be able to. Like I'm hoping, but I don't know if it's gonna work.
I don't know. It's like he could be one of the next boots, like
maybe,
or I mean, unless he really does damage control and such. But like it's definitely going to be hard for him this next round or so.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, maybe he'll be put on a team and he'll keep winning and things like that. But I'm definitely nervous for him for sure, potentially. So the second captain's challenge is called Time to Shine, and they're going to be racing to beat other challengers by completing this Ascendance themed jigsaw puzzle. Across the room, there's a timer set to 30 seconds, and before the timer hits 0, they're to run over and reset it and continue working on the puzzle. And if the timer ever hits 0, they'll be eliminated. And the 2 challengers who complete the fastest will be the new captains. And I mean, this puzzle seemed so complicated. I would not do well at this at all.
This one could be very hit or miss for me. Like it could be fun, but it's also very intense. So like maybe I do well, maybe not. It really just depends.
Yeah, definitely.
But it
So
was fun to watch.
yeah, so we do see by a time of 6:34, Jake is the first captain. So Jake is one of the captains for this round. Erica's feeling very good with him winning because of how close they connected on their previous team. And by a time of 8:25, Kennedy is the second captain. So Kennedy's really killing it in terms of challenges. I mean, I'm not surprised because Kennedy's usually like really good when it comes to like
she's a very strong physical player.
Yeah, physical aspect of the game, and she's really killing it here. But you can see there's this moment with Carson, and he talks about how he's really starting to notice like how much of a threat Kennedy is with now her winning team captain back to back, and he's going to keep his eyes out on her.
I feel like she's definitely got to like be a bit more chill and careful these next like couple rounds, so she doesn't get that target on her. I feel like she could come back from it, but she just needs to be really careful and just kind of tone it down in that sense. Maybe like throw the next comp. But she's been doing super well, and I feel like people could use her as a shield.
I will say, based on these first 2 episodes, I don't see her going anytime soon. I think that Carson is playing it well, where like he notices it and he can use this against her like whenever. But now is definitely not the time, because I feel like Kennedy's really well connected right now. Like it seems like she's making a lot of decent social connections. She talked about last week how she wanted the girls to stick together. She has some other close groups that she's in this round. So I don't see her going anywhere for a bit. So I think.
Oh, I don't either.
I hope Carson doesn't try to push it, because that could potentially spell the end of his game. But we'll have to see. So. She's aware though that she needs to manage her threat level. So I assume probably the next few challenges she's not going to go quite as hard. She's going to recognize that like I kind of need to downplay that a bit. So we'll see how that ends up going. So Jodie feels that either way that they're going to be okay, but feels that Kenny gives them a better chance of winning this round. So we get to the teams, and we have Jake's team, which is the green team, which consists of obviously Jake, Christopher, Zoe, Erica, Eric, and Wesley. We have the red team, which consists of Kennedy, Jodie, Marvin, Taisha, Carson, and Hako Chris. And then the black team, which is the team that has not been picked.
They called them, well, one of them was like, we're the leftovers. It was
Shout
funny.
out to the best show of all time. Anytime somebody references the leftovers, I'm just going to think they're talking about the HBO show, because that show needs to be referenced as much as fucking possible.
I will say this is a very strong team, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's Drew, Melissa, Keaton, Thomas, and Paul. That is the black team. A lot of strong players on that team for sure. So, yeah, those are our teams for the round.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the challenge a little bit.
It was very strong, and it's like either of them could win, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Papa then introduces the challenge for this round, which is a classic game of telephone.
And I was like, oh no.
I know, right? It's always like a very hit or miss comp for everyone.
Well, because I thought about how, you think, I don't remember how exactly it went last season, but I'm just thinking about how it is in Org when you play telephone, and just how fucking stressful it can be and how easy it is to mess up a story. I feel like it's so much easier, like IRL, to mess it up, because you can mishear things. Like, you don't have as much time to like get clarity and things like that. I feel like it's so much easier to mess things up, especially when like there's other people talking in the background and things like that. It's just a lot easier to do that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of knew this is probably going to be a shit show, but I did not anticipate it to play out the way that it did. Because my God.
Oh, I know. Results are read, and they are as follows. In last place is the red team.
With a whopping 0 points, mind you. Literally 0 out of 7.
The other 2 teams have both tied with 2 out of 7 each. Like, so, honestly, that's a very accurate, like an accurate result for this comp, because a lot of times people don't get that many questions right.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like everybody was struggling in this. Like there wasn't at least from the edits, it did not seem like there was a single person that seemed like they knew this story like front to back. Like nobody seemed to know this story very well. There were major details that were left out. Granted, it was really fucking hard. There were a lot of names, there were a lot of places. But yeah, they were definitely struggling with this comp for sure. It was fun to watch, but my God, I just thought about like how I would be in this situation, like how much I would probably struggle when it comes to like, and I think that goes a lot into like adapting from an org to an LRG. It's like there are some things where you're just that aren't going to change. And I think telephone is one of them.
With this comp, I like to kind of go in the middle these days, like not first and not last, like with the questions, because like I try and remember what people tell me, and then I tell what I remember, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like shout out from my last org I played. Shout out to
someone played music.
Shout out to Distortion. Love them. Love that org.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what was I going to say? I think when it comes to, this type of game, I don't think it matters like what order you go in, because I feel like it's much easier to mess it up. So, yeah.
They are then given a tiebreaker question to determine who is immune for the round, with the black team ultimately winning.
Yeah, I mean, it was not close. It was not close.
Crazy. All of the black team are believed to have not won.
Yeah. They had some really strong players there too. Drew, Melissa, Keaton, Paul, Tom, all of them are killing it. So like,
I know.
And Keaton was so relieved because Keaton was like,
wait a sec. All of the black team is believed to have not won. You mean to
have one?
To have one.
I typed that wrong.
No worries, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Don't you love typos?
Oh yeah.
Marvin talks about how as soon as they get results, Kennedy taps him on the shoulder and whispers Eric's name.
I mean, that pretty much set the tone for the round, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Christopher says the vote seems to be between Eric and Zoe, which I'm like, oh my God, don't go for Zoe this round, not this early.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit worried for Zoe here.
Yeah. Like, I was just like, because she was doing so well at first, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Jodie talks to Zoe, and they assure her they will not be going for her this round, and weren't coming for her last time, and they feel Eric has more traction.
We definitely see Jodie in their villain era in this episode, and I'm here for it. Like,
so good.
Like, my God, Jodie was like straight up lying to Zoe here, and it was very fun to watch.
Oh, it was so entertaining.
And that's another thing that I think Jodie is recognizing, is that like when they usually have the mask on, they're able to kind of like conceal that. Here, it's like they have to do it more convincingly, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of that so far.
Oh, I agree. Oh my God. Zoe also confides in Jodie, and that her advantage basically gives her immunity at either 8, 7, or 6, and has nothing to do with this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time we've heard about this power. I don't think we had like a segment on it prior to this, and so I was just kind of like, oh my God, that's what it is. And I was surprised that Zoe revealed it to Jodie in the way that she did. I get why she did it, because she wanted to like kind of like find a way to like bond with them and things like that. But I don't think she should have told Jodie about her power.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, in a way to gain the trust, sure, but like also it could come back and bite her.
I mean, the only thing I will say is that it's not really something she has to worry about, because like she said, it's not effective until like final 8. So like until she's at final 8, it's gonna like, this is gonna hang over her. So
that's true. So it could be very hit or miss for her.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. We'll see. I hope she makes it, but we'll see.
Zoe also lets them know she's heard their name.
Yes.
Kennedy and Taisha talk to Eric and to see where his head is at, and he talks about how he's an easy boat and a little more shy than others. And Kennedy commends him for trying hard to stay, and that him being more timid than others shouldn't matter.
Yeah, and this is a big part of the episode. We see a big reason why Eric is being targeted is mainly because of the fact that he is a lot more reserved than other people. He is a lot more kind of like timid in that way, and I think that really kind of goes into, again, adaptability when it comes from orgs to LRGs. And I think that's something that Eric we saw struggle with a bit here. I'm excited to get his insight on that whenever we do interview him. That's definitely something I think we're going to ask. Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, spoilers if you haven't watched, but why are you watching this if you haven't watched? So yeah, both Chris's talk, and they agree that they have had better conversations with Zoe than Eric and have talked to her more. So Erica fears that Eric is in trouble because of how slow it has taken him to really get to know people. And Zoe hates that Eric's name is out because they bonded so well the night before. And Kennedy, we see, kind of wants to throw her vote this round. She doesn't really want to have to go for either of them. I think this...
I will say, love pinky votes.
Yeah, it would have been an interesting move if she did that. I'm glad she ultimately didn't, because I think it definitely would have painted this target on her back, because people are already seeing Kennedy as like this threat of sorts, and you add that into the mix, and now she's like a strategic threat of sorts. I think it was smart of her to just kind of like go with the flow this round. Like,
I think so too. It was like,
I've said this before.
Definitely
I hate the idea of going with majority, but sometimes it's what you have to do. Sometimes the boring move is the correct move, and I think that's ultimately what happened here. So, yeah. So Jodie wants to stay close with Eric, wanting to keep their alliance strong, and does in fact throw Zoe under the bus here. So completely just opposite of what they said to Zoe, which I thought was very funny. So Taco, Chris, Taisha, and Kenny briefly talk about going for Erica, but they don't want to see her go so early, and they feel that if Eric were to stay, that he's really gonna like try to go after the people that did him dirty. So yeah, I mean, this was something that would have been interesting to see, but I'm glad they ultimately didn't do it, because I don't think it would have benefited any of them in the long run. And it also very much felt like, we want this flashy move to happen. We want to make a big move. And I'm glad they kind of recognized where it's like, we don't have to do that yet. That's not something that needs to happen. Because I feel like that happens a lot to people sometimes, where it's like, oh my God, this is a great move. Let's do it. But it's like, is it? So I'm glad that they didn't here. So
yeah, same.
So Drew and Melissa go searching for pendants, and they find something green. They roll the dice, and it lands on 2, which means it's likely towards the second floor. Taisha also does some searching. This is really all we see of this, though. I don't know if they're going to get any farther, but
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, good job on them figuring out the clue. So
I know. I love that.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So Jake wants to do something to change the targets, because Eric, Erica, and Zoe are all people he feels good with. But literally the second he does that, people are just whispering like, it's Erica. No, it's Zoe. No, it's Eric. No, it's Erica. So like, this is where
I thought Erica would do super well this game, but like because obviously winning the first captain, but like now I'm just like, we'll see.
She's a big social threat. This is exactly, I mean, when I played the Ghost of the Past mini, like this is exactly what happened. Or like people saw like how well connected she was, and they wanted to take her out early. I think Erica can overcome this. I could see Erica going in a direction where it's like her name was kind of out there at the start. And then, like, as the rounds went on, it started to get less and less traction. I could definitely see that happening for her. I think she needs to find a solid group of people. I think her solid group of people was the alliance that she had, and now she doesn't have that alliance, and I think she just needs to regroup a bit. So I think if she's able to do that, I think she'll be able to overcome this. But Jake, I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure, because it seems like Jake keeps losing allies left and right. So all I'm going to say is, if Jake loses another ally, if Jake loses another ally this week, I'm very worried for him moving forward. But we will have to see. So yeah, Melissa doesn't want to be super involved with this vote since she doesn't have a choice at all. I thought this was smart. There's no reason to like.
I'm just gonna say, I feel like Melissa's in like a good spot right now, because I feel like she's like social, but she's also being very low key under the radar. So I can see her making it far.
Yeah, I think Melissa's doing what she needs to do. She's focusing mostly on her social game and like trying to make those connections and not trying to go super crazy. And that's something that I think she's definitely improved upon when it comes to the season that I played her there. I know she talked about in her intro video how like she when way too hard last time when it came to targets, and she was, trying to really take someone out, but didn't realize the power that they had. So I think she really has like kind of come to terms with that and is recognizing that I need to do things a lot differently here. And not only is she recognizing that she needs to change things up, she's also, I think, doing a good job of adapting to the format. So yeah, I do see Melissa doing pretty well at this point. I think that she's really strong.
She's definitely one of the people I think could possibly win as of right now, but we'll see what happens in later episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say win, but I see her doing well. I don't know who I see.
There's like a few people I can see winning like right now based on the game. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So before the vote, Eric makes a pitch saying while he is quiet, he wants to showcase a bit more of what he wants to offer if he stays. And his vote is going to go towards Zoe and doesn't want her to, but feels that he is not as big of a threat as her. And Zoe, this is funny to me, Zoe literally just says like, don't vote for me. And then they start voting.
That was funny.
So yeah, let's get to what ends up happening.
Oh, also it doesn't have the vote number on the first part of my notes here.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
The votes are red, and sadly, despite a very strong speech, it is not enough as Eric is voted out by a vote of
it's 10-2. It's 10-1 to 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the votes are red, and sadly, despite a very strong speech, it is not enough as Eric is voted out by a vote of 10-1 to 1.
Which we can reveal the other votes if you want.
Yeah. Taisha, Hawk Girl Chris, Carson, Wesley, Jodely.
Yes, all voted for Eric.
Zoe, Erica, Jake, Marvin, and Kennedy all voted for Eric.
Yeah.
Christopher voted for Zoe, and Eric voted for Jodely.
Yes. Which let's get into that because Eric has a nice little speech before he heads out the door.
Before he heads out, he outs Jodely as the biggest social threat and the sneakiest player here. That green is not his color.
What do you think about this? Because like I felt like up to this point, Jodely was doing a really good job with making like really strong social connections. Everyone feeling really good with them. But after this, like it's like I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't see Jodely like leaving anytime soon.
No,
I feel like they can come back from this, but they definitely will be weary of them. But I feel like they'll definitely have this villain edit and just like they're like they're the person that will really like cut anyone.
I feel like when it comes to Jodely, there's two possibilities moving forward. I think what's either going to happen is people are not going to look much into this because they're going to be like, no, I feel good with Jodely. This doesn't make any sense. Why would Eric feel this way? Or they're going to keep this in the back of their mind, and then we're going to get to like jury or whatever, and the second that Jodely doesn't end up, winning something, they're going to try to target Jodely. So I definitely do see this being a big part of Jodely's narrative moving forward. I just don't know if it's going to hinder them or not.
Yeah, I don't see them leaving next though.
No. Yeah, because Jodely is definitely someone who can like overcome things. I've seen them do it before,
and like it seems like a lot of people trust them too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Drew agrees with what Eric is saying, and that Jodely needs to go very soon.
Yeah, I mean, Drew is very much hot on the trail of Jodely, but I feel like Jodely is just as much on like the trail of Drew. So like if Jodely gets word that Drew is coming after them, I feel like Jodely is just gonna like try to get all the votes onto Drew, and then Drew's gonna go. So I don't see this working out.
Yeah.
Although I will say Drew is like very well insulated right now, but so is Jodely. So I don't know what would happen here.
I agree. Eric is sad to go so early, but blames himself and lacking social connections, and that the cast wasn't built for him. There are some he can't get along with, but did have a good experience regardless.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Eric going so early. I thought that he would be someone that definitely could get a little bit farther, especially with that group that he had last week. It seemed like that was a pretty strong group overall. I think it ultimately just comes down to like this is a very game body heavy cast. This is a cast that is really trying to like play as hard as possible, and I think if you're like a step behind, you're just not going to do quite as well. I feel like that's kind of how this cast is going to be. And
I feel like with this cast, since they are very game body, I feel like the vote literally flip at any point.
Well, I also think that this really says a lot about how important that first night is to like really like solidify bonds and things like that. Because I think Eric said like he didn't get as like he didn't make as many connections that first night. So I think that could definitely, I think that's a big reason as to why he did find himself going here. But yeah, so Eric is the next person to go. Moving forward,
we will get him at some point when he's obviously home to interview him, but this was a great episode.
Oh yeah, this was a really good episode for sure. Like I said, people I'm worried for moving forward. Jake, I think, is definitely someone to look out for. I think if Jake, like I said, if Jake loses another ally next week, I don't see things going well for him.
Also, another person I'm kind of like worried for in this game is honestly Keaton.
Yeah, me too.
Like he seems like he's kind of like not in the best position, but I don't see him anytime soon yet. But I still I am worried for him.
His name was out there last round, and he did seem like he was kind of stressing over what was going to happen, like this vote. So like, I don't know. I think Keaton is someone who is like super strategic in that way, and he can kind of like overcome things. But I don't know with this cast. Like that's the thing. It's so unpredictable. So like Drew going after Jodely could become completely irrelevant after next.
Who knows? Maybe they'll team up.
Yeah, who knows? Like it's honestly very hard to predict, and that's why this season is really good so far. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen. So I was not expecting Eric to be the second person out. So just like I was expecting Ryan to be the first person out.
I know.
Yeah, very exciting.
I feel like right now somebody in a really good position is Taisha.
Oh yeah, Taisha. I see going really far. Paul's also very much impressing me. I think Paul's doing really well. Hot Girl Chris is doing as I expected.
Like Paul is like definitely like an underdog because we obviously thought he would be early boot or first boot. Hot Girl Chris is just super strong and likable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then Kennedy's doing great. She just has to be very careful because of the comps.
Definitely.
But she's doing great socially.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one person that we didn't see a lot from this episode is Wesley. I'm interested in seeing more of like what his game's all about because he was very heavily targeted last round, and that didn't seem to be brought up a lot. So
I feel like he's like flying under the radar right now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do what he can to like not play super hard because of what happened last time.
He's trying to be kind of invisible.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, really liking the season so far. This is a really great cast. I don't think there's a single dud on this cast, to be honest with you, in terms of like,
I don't either. It's so good.
Nobody so far, at least, that's like this person's not playing as hard as I want them to. This person's not really doing much in the game. It seems like everyone really came here to play, and I think it's just really great to watch overall. So very much loving what we're seeing of Ascendance. But
it's a good season.
Yeah, before we do wrap this up, always, go on, support the YouTube channel and things like that. We love Ascendance Live. We love the YouTube channel. Always support them over there.
Obviously apply to next season when it
apply to next season. Yeah. always love all of that stuff. Stuff that we gotta plug. Big Brother 24 is starting tonight. I know, it's shocking. There's a season of Big Brother that's starting. What the fuck?
Also,
I had no idea.
We will be going live for the premiere. So
Yes, we're gonna go live for the premiere. It's gonna be fun. It could be really fucking boring considering how these premieres have been recently, but you know what? It'll be fun regardless.
Yeah, it's either gonna be very boring or very chaotic.
Listen, the CBB 3 premiere was fun. So hopefully this is on the level of that, but hopefully it doesn't go down the same trajectory as that season. So we'll see.
Also, we might be doing our Man versus Bee review later as well.
Yeah. I think we do have plans to do that one. Also, in a couple, just a little over a week from now, we are going to be starting our new org, Applause Survivor. It's going to be great. If
anyone wants to join the VL, just hit us up or hit up Jen and Madison, either one of us.
Yes, it's Hairspray themed. It's Survivor game. It's, if you like either of those things, definitely, you know, look forward to this game. This is going to be a really, really great season. I think we got a really fun cast, and I think you guys will really like what we have in store. You can check that out over on our other channel, appropriately titled Applause Survivor Productions. So you can look over there. I have 3 channels, not 2, as someone mistakenly said. So yeah.
Also, yeah, like when we went live for the cast assessment and draft yesterday, it was on your movie channel.
Oh my god, yeah. That was
it's not a big deal.
It was a big fuck up, but yeah. Other than that, that is everything I think that we needed to plug when it comes to our stuff. Always looking forward to watching more of this season. There will be a new episode tomorrow, so we definitely will.
Also, shout out to Matthew Papa, who is watching this.
Yes, always support Matthew Papa. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, couples who podcast together, stay together. Love you guys.